Hello, everyone. This is Dr. with you. A study that I did revealing that over 200,000 mail ballots in Maricopa, which had mismatched signatures, were counted and weren't fully reviewed. So that's what we're going to go over today. And this is the first study to calculate signature matching rates to provide a quantitative framework for assessing signature verification of mail ballots. We completed the study on January 14th. We presented it to the Arizona Senate Liaison on January 16th. We did the final report a few days ago. And the purpose of this pilot study is to determine if results warrant any further investigation. And though this pilot study is compelling on its own, we believe an expanded study is warranted. Signature verification is a multi-step process aimed to verify signature based on review of two signatures side by side, one being genuine, the other being questionable. And what happens is early mail ballot envelopes come into a central facility, they're scanned to create these envelope images. Then what happens in an initial review is done. It's about 4 to 30 seconds using the county's procedures. Reviewer compares signature on envelope with genuine signatures on file to determine match or mismatch. The people are trained in this in a very short period of time to do this. It's novices who do this. And then if it is a no match, it goes to curing, which means more detailed review. If they match, the envelope is open and is sent for tabulation. When it's cured, the investigation includes attempts to contact voters to determine if the signature is indeed a match or no match. After curing, if it's confirmed as a no match, then the ballot's not counted. If it's confirmed as a match, then it's sent for tabulation. So basically, the voters got two shots, one at the initial reviewing and one during curing. Curing was set up really for fairness. So there's 1,911,918 early voting ballots. The county said a maximum number of 25,000 were cured, which is 1.31%. We put forward a methodology, which I'm going to walk you through, and we did two experiments. First, we selected a representative statistical sample from population of 1,911,918 early voting mail ballots. We wanted to select a sample size where we could have 95% confidence with a plus or minus 4.4% margin of error. So out of all these millions of ballots, we selected 499 randomly. And to give you an idea in statistics, you don't have to select all of them. You just have to do a random sampling. This is how pollsters work. We created a data set of the 499 genuine signatures that match names and addresses of the 499 envelope signatures. Now, how did we do that? We sourced from the Maricopa publicly accessible deeds repository. We extracted 499 deed signatures. Now, it should be noted that the source of the genuine signatures used in this study are likely different from the source of genuine signatures used by the county. They typically use voter registration signatures or from the DMV. However, experts in forensic document examination share that signatures from a deeds repository, which is what we did, may likely be more valid given such signatures are notarized. So the county, by the way, if they're listening, wish to provide their genuine signatures for these 499 samples, the study can be updated. So we're willing to do that. The step 4 was we create pairwise data sets of the 499 envelope signatures and the 499 genuine signatures. Here are the signatures from the deeds repository, and here's a signature right off the envelope. We asked the reviewers to do was they're supposed to look at these and decide if this is a match or a no match. That's simple. And they can only spend maximum of 30 seconds, 4 to 30 seconds in doing this. And that's typically what's allowed in the initial review process. Now, let's go to experiment 1. We use novices here. We used 3 novices. So the novices were instructed to follow the county's guide. So they went through it, reviewed it. We presented 499 pairwise signatures, no more than 30 seconds. And everyone was recorded for their match or non-match selections. And each of the non-FD's mismatch rate was calculated, as well as what we call the pooled consensus mismatch rate. We said, how many signatures did they all agree were mismatches? And that's called pooled consensus. And you can notice here, 63 out of 499 were when all 3 people agreed that those signatures on those ballots were mismatches. So that would mean that the non-FD pooled consensus signature mismatch rate is 12.6%. That's close to almost 10 times higher than the Maricopa County signature mismatch rate. Now let's go to experiment 2. Now we're going to look at how do the experts do it. And these are experts who are hired by courts to look at signatures to do forensics on them. So we hired 3 of those. Again, the experts were given 499 signature pairwise images. They had to say it was a match or no match. Again, we calculated their mismatch rates and their average mismatch rates among all 3 of them. And then we also looked at their pooled consensus mismatch rate. rates. So you can see, obviously, they had far more mismatches, 195 out of nearly the 499 they said were mismatches. The pooled consensus signature mismatch rate is 39.1%. Again, far less than the percentage of Maricopa signature mismatch rates. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do an exercise where we look at bringing together the novices and the experts. So now we want to look at this analysis here where all 6 reviewers agreed the ballot signatures did not match, and those were 60 signatures. Examples of this where 3 novice and experts agree they do not match. So this and this do not match. This and this do not match. All 3 novice and expert agreed. And you can see they're pretty clear they don't match. Same here and same here. Now we have 60 examples of where the novices and the experts agree that out of the 499, they don't match. So that's called the pooled consensus signature matching rate among the common mismatch of novice and experts, 12.0%. So 60 of the 499, some of the examples we just shared with you, where both parties agree they don't match. Okay, so that's 12% pooled signature mismatch rate. And look at that, that's still much higher than the 1.3%. All right, but if you use a 12% number, you find out that 229,000 430 EVBs should have been cured. So again, comparing it to Maricopa, which is 25,000 at 1.31%, if you use the pooled mismatch rate of 12%, which would be the most conservative, you get 229,430. The intention of this pilot study was exploratory. We're not here accusing anyone. We literally wanted to recreate how signature verification is going on. We're the first to do this study. And the reason we did this is that it's important to recognize that the election integrity movement really needs to take a scientific systems approach. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of grifters who jumped into this movement and they've been taking advantage of people. We live in a world where there's the left approach or the right approach or the pro approach or the anti approach. But ultimately, what a systems approach reveals is that you need to apply the scientific method. We go into it like we did with this study. It's a pilot study. We weren't aware what was going to happen. We did the analysis, and we may do an extended study.
Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai. Before we continue with this, I want to just remind everyone that because of the massive censorship and shadow banning that still continues on social media platforms, I'd like you to click the link to continue watching this on our own platform.